Welcome, everybody. We're going to call this meeting to order. So please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Mr. Freeman.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say welcome and thank you to everyone who is in attendance tonight. It's always great when we get to celebrate the brightest and the best thing about our school district, and that's our students. So thank you for coming and sharing in that. Um, Tonight's a special night. It's one of those nights that's you wish you could just do every board meeting, but this is our month to celebrate our illustrious board members and thank them for the time and effort that they put in to ensure that your experience as a student and your experience as a staff member and a parent and a community member is positive. And this board is undoubtedly 100% all in on ensuring that this district is the best that it can be. So, on behalf of me and my leadership cabinet, I want to say thank you very much for everything that you do, all the time that you put in. I know you're very well compensated for this position. That's a joke. They don't get paid anything. So you do it because you love it, and it shows. Very proud of this district and where it is right now, the direction that it's going, the experience that our students have, and all of that is a direct reflection of your influence on this district. So thank you very much. You are getting handed a little treat from the district as just as thank you. You also have your house shirts in front of you. And so in the future, maybe we'll get with the elementary and middle school and have a board meeting that we wear our house colors and do some house activities. I also know that the different buildings have something for you too. So I wish we could do this every board meeting because you earned it and deserve it, but this is our month. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
All right. Miss Anderson would like to have a moment. Miss Anderson is our president of our Glide Education Association and a great teacher at the high school. Just for a minute.
So I just wanted to make a small presentation for all of you on behalf of the teachers. We understand that all of you are doing a not a lot of people could do, and not a lot of people would want to do. So we do appreciate that, and we do appreciate how hard the job that you do is sometimes. So we've got a little dessert to go along with all of your other goodies for you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Totally get it. Thank you. Thank you.
And I guess for my real reason on this slot of the agenda, there are no changes to the agenda tonight. So
Nice.
there you go.
Okay, so I think we're then moving on to the elementary school student report with Austin and Olivia.
All of the food we donated went directly to Glide Helping Hands, a local organization that helps people in our community. A big thank you goes to Glide Fire Chief Ted Damewood for picking up all the donations and delivering them for us. The Umpqua Valley Wrestling Club took 28 wrestlers to a tournament called the Classic this past weekend at the Deschutes Fairground in Redmond. Several of our Glide students placed in this competition, which brought in wrestlers from all over Oregon and neighboring states.
Of the 28 wrestlers, we had 3 place 5th, Easton Rogers, Fisher Robinson, and Harper Richardson. 2 place 4th, Archer Robinson and Liam Bonnell. 2 place 3rd, Ray Halter and Jackson Brown. 2 place 2nd, Jace Rogers and Grayson Maddox, and McCoy Andrews, who took 1st in his bracket.
Our Glide Junior Cheer teams did an amazing job this past weekend. Competing in 2 competitions, we had 3 teams complete with a total of 21 competitors. The JGC Minis took 3rd place at Westland and the 1st place at Gladestone Gladiator. The JGC Junior team placed 2nd at both competitions, and the JGC Youth team placed 1st at both tournaments. Next weekend, 14 athletes from elementary and middle school will travel to Las Vegas to compete in the national stage.
Besides the sports programs mentioned above, we have Glide 3rd through 12th grade students on the Glide Wildcat Club volleyball teams. These teams are coached by Stephanie Furlong and other volunteers. They practice every Friday and will compete in various competitions in Southern Oregon over the next few months. We're excited to partner with them as they work to build our local volleyball program.
AR is an online program where students take comprehension tests on books they've read. Students have reading goals and earn grade level medallions when they meet their goals. The points you get are based on how difficult the book is. So far, our students have read 8,777 books. This is 1,700 more books than we read by this time last year.
Last month, we found out that we won the Ben Seraphin grant for sports and PE equipment for our athletic field at Glide Elementary School. We've already ordered and received regulation-sized soccer goals with football uprights and 2 sets of bleachers that will seat 112 students. Thank you to our maintenance team for working hard to put all the equipment together. The remaining money from the grant will be used to buy disc golf baskets and supplies. Our student leadership team also has an ongoing coin drive set up in the elementary office to replace our existing backstop so students can help out too.
Save the date for our 16th annual spaghetti dinner and auction. The teachers and parents of 4th, 5th, and 6th graders have planned another fun evening for our community. We'd love to see you there.
I heard you guys have questions about your houses, so if you have any questions now, you can ask us.
When is the date for the spaghetti tea?
February 26th. Thank you.
And then, so we would love to know a little bit about, because it's been a long time since we got put in the houses. Can you tell us just a little bit about like the main characteristics? And Tracy wants to know about animals, things that you think would be helpful for us to know about our now being part of these houses.
Okay, so Unraka's house sign is this. And their animal is a tiger. And their character trait is unity. Isabindi's house sign is this. And their character trait is courage, and their animal is a peacock. Lion. Oh, a peacock and a lion. Oh, a swan. Sorry.
Both very proud.
And Reverse house sign is this. And their animal is,
A wolf and a unicorn.
yeah. And then their character trait is dreamers. And then that's pretty much it. Do you guys want to know anything else? Oh, altruismo. Altruismo's house sign is this. And their character trait is giving. And their animal is a snake. Not a peacock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unicorn's the only one that I remembered.
Is there any more questions or is that it? No?
What do the hand signs mean? Do you know?
Well, it's just basically like representing, it's trying to show their character trait and like what the house means.
Also, when you go through the halls, you can do your sign to people that are in your house.
Very cool. I like it. Thank you.
Finally, the staff and students at Glide Elementary want to recognize all you do for our school. Here are a few gifts to show our appreciation. Thank you.
Right here. You know what? I have that same shirt that you do. That she does. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
We are pleased to share the update tonight for both the high school and middle school. Audrey's at her game at North Douglas tonight. First, I just want to say Happy School Board Appreciation Month and thank you for all the work you do to provide direction for the district. Thank you. In December, leadership students successfully organized the annual canned food drive. Through strong collaboration with teachers, student groups, and community partners, both the middle school and high school generously donated a total of 1,150 pounds of canned goods to support local families in need. Leadership students coordinated promotion, collection logistics, and friendly competition between classes, demonstrating strong organization and teamwork. As we move into the new year, leadership students remain focused on supporting school culture initiatives and are actively planning upcoming winter events, including a school spirit week, followed by a dance on February 5th. Ag Mechanics students have been working hard on some cool projects. Projects include an 8x8 shed, 6x10 box trailer, and we are working with a community partner to build an epoxy dining room table. Big congratulations to our fire science students. Our students recently earned their CPR certification thanks to the support and training provided by Glide Fire. A huge thank you to Rich Chitwood for taking the time to work with our students, sharing his expertise, and helping prepare the next generation of first responders with this critical life-saving skill. We truly appreciate the continued partnership and commitment to our students and our community. The winter sports season is about halfway through, and league play started last week for our basketball teams. We have 17 boys and 16 girls out for basketball this year, and are fielding both JV and varsity teams for both. Wrestling competed in the Oregon Classic last weekend, and 3 of our athletes came home undefeated. We are hosting South Umpqua for a senior night duel on Wednesday, February 4th. OSAT competitions begin next weekend at the Oregon Force Center in Eugene. We have 7 high schoolers competing for Glide and 1 middle school room learning the ropes.
At Glide Middle School, we have started into the second half of the winter season. The Wildcats hosted the Little Fur League Middle School Girls Basketball Jamboree on Saturday and the first Little Fur League Middle School Wrestling meet today. In fact, it's probably still going. We have a total of 20 7th and 8th grader girls out for basketball this year, and the team is looking forward to a great season. There are 14 6th through 8th graders out for wrestling, with 11 boys and 3 girls. Tonight should give them a good idea of how they will stack up in the Little Fur League as they are facing all of the teams in the league. Around the middle school, leadership students, in partnership with the Booster Club, have created recycling posters to accompany the recycling bins that are now located around the campus. Candygram Valentine sales will be the week of Valentine's, being delivered on the February 11th. The Under the Sea dance is planned for February 25th. Finally, yearbooks are now on sale for $25, and students have the chance to be featured in the yearbook and take photos with their friends for 50 cents a person. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess so.
I believe we are going to do the Cats Award of the Month. And folks, please stick around afterwards so that we can do pictures and pictures.
Cats of the Month Awards presentation. The CATS stands for Character, Achievement, Teamwork, Success. Character, they show respect, responsibility, and integrity in all settings. The A is for achievement. They strive for excellence in academics and personal growth. The T is for teamwork. They work together with peers, teachers, and community for shared goals. And the S is for success. They build habits that lead to lifelong learning and achievement. Students who receive this award have been selected by school staff because they have demonstrated exceptional attendance, exceptional behavior, and have performed exceptionally well in the classroom for the month.
Twelfth grade, Molly Kircher. Molly is a motivated senior at Glide High School who exemplifies CATS. She manages a challenging schedule, is a two-sport athlete, is active in FFA, took sophomore and junior classes simultaneously to graduate early, and seeks opportunities outside of the classroom to grow as a lifelong learner. This summer, she participated in a cultural exchange through Partners of Americas in Costa Rica and hosted a Costa Rican student this winter at Glide High School. Her ability to seek opportunities outside of these readily available will take her farther in education and beyond.
'11th grade, Skylar Schneider. Skylar is a self-motivated worker in the advanced ag mechanics class. He accepts the challenges of advanced projects and works diligently to complete them at a high quality level.
Tenth grade, Thomas Bien. Thomas consistently demonstrates the ability to communicate effectively and complete high-quality assignments in class. Where Tommy really shines is through teamwork. He is the first to say hello or good morning to fellow peers and staff and demonstrates friendliness to all. Thank you for making Glide more friendly every day, Tommy.
Ninth grade, Quinn DeVoe. Quinn is always on task, striving to go above and beyond with all lessons and assignments. He shoots for the stars and is a leader from the front. Quinn never says no and is always willing to go above and beyond. Quinn maintains a positive attitude at all times, is helpful and courteous.
Keith Phelan. Keith consistently shows a remarkable willingness and ability to step into any role the classroom needs, especially leadership. He approaches group tasks with confidence and adaptability, seamlessly guiding peers when a leader is needed or supporting others quietly when a different role fits best. Keith is smart and quick to understand new concepts as well as a great conversationalist. He listens thoughtfully, asks insightful questions, and his dependable leadership makes him a real asset to any classroom.
Seventh grade, Thatcher Johnson. Thatcher Johnson is an amazing, hardworking math student. As a seventh grader, he is excelling in a high school level math course. He diligently strives to understand the concepts and perseveres in solving complex tasks. Thatcher is not just a great math student, but also a helpful classmate. He comes to class with great attitude and never hesitates to encourage those around him.
From sixth grade, Austin James McCauley. Austin embodies Austin embodies all that means to be a Cats of the Month. He constantly demonstrates respect, responsibility, and rigor each day in and outside of the classroom. We are so thankful to have him as a positive role model for our classroom and community.
Maddie Huntington. Maddie has been working hard to become better organized and strives to turn in her work on time. She's upbeat and respectful. She is a great elbow partner and loves to read. From fourth grade, Carson Orella. Carson Orella is an all-around superstar human being. She constantly demonstrates exceptional attendance, behavior, and academic achievements. She works hard to stay positive and is kind to all. These traits easily make her a dream student and a role model for success. But the real magic lies in her amazing heart for others. An extraordinary girl genuinely wants everyone around her to be successful, and she is. And that means something special. Wherever there's a classmate in need of help or support or encouragement, you'll find Carson. I can't think of a better example of a Glide Elementary School cat. From third grade, Emily Rivera. Emily is here every day with a general resolves to always do her best. She is thoughtful about her schoolwork and her classmates. She is a great working partner and encourages in every lesson and activity we do in class. I'm excited to present Emily as a Cat of the Month and know she has a bright future ahead. Second grade, Archer Robertson. Archer constantly brightens our classroom with his kindness, leadership, curiosity, compassion, and hard work. He approaches challenges with positive attitude and consistently strives to do his best. Archer is a natural leader and a supportive friend to everyone around him. I'm so proud of the growth that he's made this year, and I know he'll continue to change himself and set an example for what it means to be a bobcat. First grade, Rios Brunel Harmonson. Rios is such a kind, fun, loving friend and student. He shows up every day with a smile and a great attitude. He makes significant strides in our classroom by working hard and being a great example for his peers. It's a joy to teach Rios. From kindergarten, Hunter Halter. It is my honor to nominate Hunter Halter for the CATS Award for January. Hunter is a hard worker and a great listener within kindergarten classrooms. He's a natural leader who models what needs to be done. He encourages others to be their best selves at the same time. He adds a bright light to our classroom and a sense of humor and a caring heart, but is always up for academic challenge along the way. Way to go, Hunter.
I think we're gathering up all the winners to have a picture up here, please, if you don't mind. If you want to. And then after this, folks, we're going to take a little short recess. So you're more than welcome to leave if you don't want to sit through the rest of the meeting. medication, the sumatriptan, and then just took a bunch of propanol on top of it. That helps. Yeah, I think that's why I'm gonna, I mean, not like every day or anything, like I had yesterday too. So I'm not really I'm got to the bottom of stuff, but getting out. So does my daughter, so did my mom. It's like a weird chatting point. Yeah. Oh man, and it's, if I don't nip it in the bud right away, it goes to like a whole other level of things and the whole. That's why I have to like stay down. Fight. No, they didn't start until my as my mom told me to start out. Jade got him. Yeah, she's on the same medication. We're on like some of the same meds. Yeah. Oh. She's on those because she did like that headache. So my trip, and she's like, I'm not really well. So I was like, well, let's just leave. The doctor's like, yeah. And then I was like, that's it. Oh, my. I did still like. Why races aside? All right, welcome back for those that power on with us. Appreciate that. Okay.
I believe we are moving on to approval of the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
Any discussion about that?
That's just the minutes and the financial report.
Okay. All in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, I do believe we are moving on to our district audit report. And we have Vicky with us. Wow, in person. Yeah.
Hello. Glad to be back. This is my fourth one here.
Wow. And our microphones are super touchy, so you practically have to
Okay.
pretend
better?
it's your ice cream cone practically.
We audited the Glide School District basic financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. The audit was conducted in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States, as well as applicable government auditing standards. An audit provides you with reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material misstatement. Internal controls are examined and tested in conjunction with the audit testing. We're also watching out for signs of fraud. No internal control or fraud issues were identified during the audit. Based on our audit, we've given the district an unmodified opinion. It was a clean audit with no qualifications or deficiencies noted. Woo. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Another good year. Just a few numbers. Your government-wide ending net position this year was at 15.6 million, which was 7.6% increase over the prior year. Your governmental funds ending net position was 5.9 million, which was 10.7% increase over the prior year. I also like to look at that 5.9 million ending actual balance in comparison to your budgeted beginning balance. We don't want you to start off in arrears.
No.
And in this case, you were over by 517,000, so you're starting off strong. That's a
Nice.
good way to start your year. We actually had one school who started off $1 million in arrears. So
Oh,
this is much preferable.
my goodness.
Your ending cash and investments for the year were at 5.9 million, which was up 6.7% from the prior year. This last year, your revenues were down just a smidge, 1.5%. They ended with $15.5 million, of which 5.8 million or 37% was from state school funding, and 7%, $1,095,000 was from federal funding. And since that was over the $750,000 limit for a single audit, we also had a single audit this year. More documentation. The expenditures this last year were down 10% from the prior year.
Yay.
So you had 14.999 million, so 15 million. And then the other thing I also like to bring to your attention is your portion of the Oregon PERS unfunded liability for the retirement accounts. That ended up being 7.8 million this year, which is up 18% from the prior year. And we have seen numbers this last year that were all over the board, all of them up. Yeah. At the prior presentation that I gave to a board, theirs was up 85% in this one year. It's the actuaries and Salem. They choose different numbers for doing their net present value, and they're just all over the place with it. Um, but the main thing to remember about that is just that you do have a liability long-term for retirement cost. And you have acknowledged it in your financials, so you're good.
Nice.
And you continue to make payments towards funding that.
Yes, we do. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming in person and sharing that with us. Really appreciate it. And yeah, and Carolyn, I think we owe a lot of that to you, and I know the rest of the team and Robert, and I know you guys are all staying on top of it, and I was super grateful because I know times are stretch that out. So good job.
So joking around, Carolyn doesn't let us spend any money at all. But all seriousness, we are very much aware of the upcoming PERS debt
Mhm.
that's going to hit the district, and kudos to Carolyn for already starting to prepare for that. So we're trying to bite that chunk off in little bites instead of waiting to the cliff and jumping off the cliff. So
Yeah,
Carolyn's already started preparing.
super appreciate that. And I remember that's been part of the dialogue when we were doing bargaining and all kinds of stuff, just trying to put that into our budget so that we don't end up, like you said, at the cliff going, oh, oop. Okay.
Yeah, 80-some% hit. Oh my goodness.
I can't even,
Well, it comes at the cost of what you provide to kids. Yeah, I don't know that district and what kind of shape they're in, but I'm sure they're reducing their ending fund balance, probably not a safe level. Probably have to cut staffing to cover that. I mean, it all comes back to the quality of experience for kids. So
yeah, that's too bad. I would hate to ever be in a position where we'd have to cut staff. That would be, I think, detrimental to our district. Okay, so think. Oh, yeah, right. Public participation. So sorry, I always forget about that now because we never have any. Yeah.
yeah, be careful what you ask for. Can
Yeah,
all
the
turn
universe
around
thinks it's
tomorrow.
funny, so you never know. Okay. So I think we're gonna talk about the grant.
Yeah, so thank you for this opportunity on this agenda to put in front of you the SIA presentation. The intent of this presentation is to fulfill the statutory requirements that is set for the student investment account grant. The Glide School District receives several grants dedicated towards specific areas, and you've often heard them referred to as buckets. High school success, early literature, student investment account, just to name a few. Each of those buckets of money are used to, they used to require its own application process. So small districts like Glide, that means one person was applying for each of those grants. And so ODE did try to consolidate that, and they attempt to streamline the process. And what they did is they put all those grants under what's now called the integrated guidance application. Every year, superintendents must share with the board an evaluation of all the integrated guidance grants. I did that during the September board meeting. I talked about things that we do really well. We did really well last year, and in areas that we still have for growth. You guys approved that evaluation. Usually, we approve the upcoming grant at the same time, but this year, because of where the economy was and the status of some federal funds, the awarding of the grant was put off until just recent. So the SIA student investment account is different than all those other grants, as this bucket of money has regulations and statutes that are attached to it. When all the grants were consolidated under one umbrella, That process didn't alleviate the requirements that are in statute for the SIA grant. For lawmakers to get support from Oregon taxpayers, they needed to include accountability and transparency into the law. How they sold it to the taxpayers was to add this public step where superintendent reports to the board the amounts of the funds that are allocated. These funds, let's see, allocated. These funds are for the biennium, so we only do this every other year. A brief overview on how that money is spent, and then post the grant application online. And then the final step is your approval, basically accepting the amount of money that they allocate to us. So here we go. Okay, the SIA grant allocation for the 25-27 biennium is 1,627,216.92. Our plan that we, you know, you gotta get the 92 cents in there. Our plan that we submitted on how to spend that money focused on funding for 7.35 FTE. That's full-time equivalent, which is a majority of the expenditure. We also use that fund to pay for our multi-tiered support system subscription, or subs for our SIA funded positions, some curriculum, training for staff. And this is also the bucket of money where each licensed staff has the opportunity to work 16 hours and get reimbursed for pre-approved work outside the contract hours. The reason it's 7.34 is because we don't fully fund everyone in that position. We fund portions of people. The entire application is posted on our website. It has been for a while. And then now we're at the point where I'll ask the board chair to call for a motion to accept the SIA grant allocation of $1,627,216.92. Once a motion is made and seconded, you can ask any follow-up questions. The motion and vote will be to accept the student investment account grant of $1,627,216.92.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the student investment account agreement and accept the SIA grant allocation of $1,627,216.92 as presented.
I move to approve the student investment account agreement and accept the SIA grant allocation of, because we can't say it enough, $1,627,216.92 as presented.
I'll second. And I won't say it again.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of fun to say.
Well, it is kind of fun. I thought maybe we'd all get a chance. Make sure we're super clear on what we're all talking about. Any discussion on that? I just had a question.
Sure.
So some of this is supposed to go towards like improving mental health. Is that correct? Did I read that somewhere in there? Or was that a different?
Yeah, so I'll speak to it, and the principals can sure talk about it too. But we fund our student support specialists out of this, our behavior interventionists.
Perfect.
Those are our two big ones that cover that area.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know. Any other further discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor of, you know what we're voting on. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for presenting that, Mr. Freeman. Okay, I think we are moving on now to policy revisions. And just gonna pull out my little notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. I had these all in order and then decided to change that. Travis. So the premise is that John and I, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different policies we needed to review. If y'all recall, there was a few on the meeting, couple meetings back, that we had lots of questions about and weren't sure. So John and I got together with the rest of the admin team and went over the policy potential revisions and recommendations from OSBA. So in JFCEB, and I hope everyone had maybe an opportunity to look at some of this beforehand. Let me just go to the actual policy here. That is the policy. Thank you. That was the personal electronic devices. And this policy in the era was adopted by the board, if y'all recall, back in August of 2025. It has been recommended by the administration that the last sentence in the second paragraph be changed to add district issued. This changes and protects the internet safety and security of our students. And what that is talking about is that that not using personal laptops here so that we're not putting our system at risk. And that's why we're saying only district issued for internet safety and security reasons. So, I love that. Have all these numbers.
Yeah, going to the next one or?
Do we need to go adopt each one or go through all of them and then? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Thank you. Okay, next one was the JOA. Right? Oh, that's
See.
they're out of order in here. We're gonna go through the JHCA. And I was looking at the notes. No, that's fine. Okay. So JHCA, that is the one on immunization, school sports participation, concussion, and other brain injuries is what was added in. And so the Oregon legislature adopted HB 3007 in 2025. Outlining steps that must be taken when information regarding a student's concussion or other brain injury is provided to the district. OSBA is also recommending removing the double code on JHCA and JHCB immunization and school sports participation, making it JHCA immunization, school sports participation, concussions, and other brain injuries. Say that 5 times fast. Good grief. Okay. So those were combined and it just adds in that a student who continues to participate in extracurricular sports in grades 7 through 12 shall be required to complete a sports examination once every 2 years thereafter if they were determined right to have a concussion. Is that my understanding, right? Yes. Okay. So we're just changing it and that those things are combined instead of 2 separate policies. Kind of a no-brainer about the concussion thing. Okay. And then, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the notes instead of how it's outlined on the agenda. Which one? Okay, JOA. Thank y'all. That's the directory information and we were recommending upholding OSBA's recommendation. It adds number 3, a major field of study, and number 4, sport, so that it can include, right? So the directory information includes student's name, student's photograph, major field of study, participation in officially recognized activities and sports. Weight and height of members of athletic teams. Were they taking that one out? Or does that still stay in there because of sports? Is that right? Anybody? John, do you remember? Gotcha. Right. Okay. Dates of attendance and they added in diploma, honors, or awards received. So what was added was photograph, major field of study, and sports with the recognized activities, members of athletic teams, dates of attendance, and so just minimal words. Okay. Moving on to DBEA. Okay. This is the budget committee. I do believe this is one of the ones that one of the reasons why we kicked it forward was it just was kind of confusing. So what John and I are recommending is really just changing a small word in there about so it had said about one of the that there will be a member on the equity committee, which the equity that already happens. And so we are just changing it to a member. So it can be any one of us and we can rotate that way. That way it's not a burden on one specific person. So that's all that we were changing it to, from at least one member to read a member. That was our recommendation.
Tracy, is that in there?
Right now, it's just at least one member, correct? That's what's in the policy right now is at least one member. And we're changing it to a member.
Okay, because that's not on, so this.
That is what the motion's going to be about is just correcting that language, which is still in alignment with
Okay.
with OSBA and what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, and yep. And now we're on the LBEA. This is another one that we were confused about and kicked over for John and I to get together with the team. So this was the denial for virtual public charter school. We do need to make a decision, right? So the law gives a district a way to deny enrollment of a student to a virtual public charter school if the district chooses to impose a cap. The board decides to institute the practice and adopt the policy or not. If the district does not want to issue a denial to a student who notifies the district of a transfer to a virtual public charter school, then we would delete this policy. So if there was a cap, it's at, was it 3? Yeah. But our recommendation was to, I believe, get rid of the policy that we didn't really need. Just not have the policy. Okay, so that's all our things, right? Okay. So I think we'll go through each one and after the a second, if there is a second, we'll have discussion, I guess, before we on each one. Is that? Huh? Yeah, absolutely. I figured. Okay. So starting with JFCEB. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna have to do that one by one. That's gonna be, so I would entertain a motion to approve the policy JFCEB, which is personal electronics device.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on the personal electronics devices and approving it on first reading as presented? Okay, all of those in favor of passing the amendment to JFCEB on personal electronic devices? Aye. Motion passes for that policy. Okay, moving on to JHCA. Which is concussion, brain injuries combination. The two separate policies put into one. I would entertain a motion to approve policy JHCA for adoption on first reading as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on a concussion? Sorry, couldn't help myself. Right. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Motion passes on the adopting the concussion brain injury combo. Okay, moving on to JOA. It's the directory information policy that adds in a few pieces, photograph, major field of study, and sports, members of teams, and I would entertain a motion to approve policy JOA on directory information for adoption on first reading as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion on directory information? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion passes for JOA directory information. Okay, we're going to move on to budget committee. That's DBEA. And that is for the language of, okay, that was from at least one member to read a member. So I would entertain a motion to approve policy DBEA on the budget committee for adoption on first reading as presented.
But it would be as presented. Because we don't have.
For right now, it is
Okay,
until,
okay. I mean, the document doesn't read that, so that's where.
well, the
Okay.
update is reads that.
Okay, that's fine. If that's, yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, it says at least one member of the committee, not a member. That's how it reads right now.
Right. So my understanding was that the presentation of the change is what we would be accepting as presented. But if you think we need to say that differently.
Yeah, I mean, the motion is that basically that we would approve it with that change
Correct.
and the other change funds, but that one is not on the actual document as presented. I know it's a technicality, but it's not as we were. Yeah. Yeah. And Tracy was saying it was supposed to be a member, not at least one, but a member. Am I correct? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. Thank you. I like that.
I second.
Okay.
Bit lovely. Making that.
Okay. Discussion on that. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of approving the DBEA Budget Committee amendment of a member on first reading? Aye. Okay, motion passes for DBEA Budget Committee change. Okay, LBEA Charter School Enrollment. So, yeah, I'm wondering how I say that. I would entertain a motion to, I guess, exclude. Well, so our,
Policy?
that's what I'm, yeah. So to, yes, and it's not required. So John and I's recommendation from the team was to exclude the policy, take it out of the. So I guess I'm saying I would entertain a motion to exclude the policy.
Oh,
Right. So
Yes.
do we need to like second it to get to that?
So you want a motion?
So I think we need a motion and then to get to a second to discuss it, whether we want to do that or not.
I make a motion to withdraw or exclude whatever word you want to use there, LBEA policy. Remove it from our set of policies.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Feel like maybe there is.
Now, here's was our discussion over that. We're already over the number, which means we could let nobody go and, you know, and deny people that are already out of, you know, because we're already out of compliance of this. So are we gonna say the next person no, regardless of whether maybe they need to, or it would do them good? And as far as I can see, if we can't keep that number pretty, we're probably not doing a good job anyway. You know, I don't think everybody's gonna quit school. So they have to go do something. Yes.
So. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I will tell you that you can reinstate the policy anytime you could get board members to vote to reinstate it. I mean, that's not a big deal, but I do know one person that's, you know, 15 years old and not going to any school whatsoever. And their parents called and said, what do we do? And you do nothing. There is no way to force a kid to go to school today. So if they don't want to go, they are not going. And I think that maybe it's more on our responsibility to make darn sure that we're doing a good enough job that at least, you know, the parents want to make sure the kids go and the kids are at least having a good enough time or think they're learning enough that they do want to come.
We spent a lot of time on this one because I myself have a lot of feelings about it. I don't want to deny anybody access that fits better for them, but at the same time, you know, that's money for our district per kid. And not that it's about money, but there's also that piece of why aren't they? Why is that the better option for them? Is that something that we need to look at ourselves of, are we lacking somewhere that they don't want to come here? But as John was saying, we're already over what the cap would be. And then how would we activate that? Where do you, is it just like the last few folks that decided to do that once that cap would have been made, and then we have to tell them, sorry about your luck? And so I think we really wrestled with how to move forward with this. And so we were opting with, if we didn't have the policy, then we can assess it per case. That's
They will not make a kid go to school.
right.
So I guess my question, are we at risk? We're not.
It's not required.
It's costing us money. I don't think, I mean, basically, that I don't see why it would be any, you know, but it's only gonna be a kid not coming and us not getting the money for the. It's in here basically to protect schools from all the kids not going. I mean, that's what it's to make sure you get the money, but I would think that it, you know, if we can't encourage kids to come, maybe we need to look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the main point, right? Right, that you and Tracy both made that same point, is that that's a litmus paper test of how are we doing? It's a heck of a test. But also, I want to know if we did have this policy and they didn't, then
Yeah, we have
is there
the same thing.
teeth in this?
Nothing happens.
So
That's what I'm
then
telling
it's a
you.
silly policy.
The kid
To me,
gets-
policies that have no teeth,
Nobody is going to go grab the kid and
No.
drag them to school. It does not happen.
then.
They don't go to jail. The parents don't go to jail. I mean,
Where's the truancy officer when you need them?
there is not, that is exactly it. There's no.
Giving my age away.
truancy officer.
But isn't the intent of the policy, so I appreciate that, and I just, you know, I thought the intent of it is that if you had, like, to Trixie's point, you had a whole number, like more than 3% of the district saying, I want to go to a charter school that wasn't sponsored by the district. This allows you not to be able to deny that if need be. So I guess that was my question, is like, if we don't have a policy, then can we still deny that, or are we in a?
But that's my point. If we deny it, then what?
Yeah, I guess I'm just more looking at like,
Then they don't go to school.
yeah,
Right. So,
Yes,
Yeah,
please do.
okay, so I'm struggling, because if you don't have any way to say we can deny it, and the student, any student says, I want to go to a charter school, you would theoretically then have to, that wrong? Or am I looking at this?
Which we do already.
Okay,
So the real issue here is not all kids are best served by public schools. And my philosophy has always been that you're a team. It takes a village to raise a kid. I firmly believe that. If the parent or the village is saying public education isn't the right place and we want to try this virtual charter school, then it's our job to work with the family, understand what the needs of the kids are, try to meet those needs. If we don't meet that need, then we make sure that they know they're still welcome to come back here if that avenue doesn't produce what they think it's going to produce. And I think that's a much better position to be in than deny a family up front.
Yep.
Say, no, family goes and does it anyway. They fail at that. There's no avenue now for that family to come back to Glide. They're going to seek another district around, thinking that that district will try to meet their needs. So I charge my principals to know why every student leaves our district. Jan has a tickler that when she gets a request, Those go out to each building, so we understand, we know about the student. Often the kids were never our kids to begin with. We have people move into our district that are already doing that. I don't want to get too deep in the
Yeah.
weeds, but the kids that were our kids and are leaving, I can very confidently tell you that our buildings know exactly what's going on in the family and the dynamics. And we've tried to do everything we can to support them to be here in Glide. And work really hard to let the families know that that door is always open. If they exhaust all their resources that they have, they're still welcome to come back here, and we're going to try to help the student be successful. So that's why I'm in favor of removing the policy.
And I would rather be that district also, right? That's trying to actually meet the needs of each student.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. Okay.
I'd like to clarify one thing about my litmus paper test thing is that I'm not blaming staff or the teachers either. It's well, good, but I came into my mind, I'm like, well, I hope it wasn't interpreted that way, because I am a firm believer that it takes the student, the parents, and the school teachers. That's a triangle. If that triangle falls, any one of those pieces falls apart, the student's chance of success is very low. So
Throw in a pandemic, a forest fire, add whatever else you want to add to that, generational poverty.
but if something's
Absolutely.
happening with that family and they look at the school, then that's a good reason to look at ourselves. If we look at our mirror first and start there,
Well, I will assure you, those two sitting right there do exactly that.
and
I
I have
believe
no
that.
doubt about that.
And I think
At
that
all. I have
that
no doubts about the
I
staff.
believe that getting rid of this policy is doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Agree.
That allows us that flexibility to really try to actually help, not just have a hard line. And we keep that open door because, as Robert was saying, the odds of them going out there in desperation, trying to figure out the right fit, and that didn't really work out. We want to be here with open arms, ready to meet the needs.
Well, and all the, there's probably not a teacher out there and gonna chuckle a little bit. I know I do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna homeschool my kids. Good luck with that. Cause do you really know what work that is? You know, that is tremendous. And so they may, you know, get their knickers in a bunch or whatever and decide to do that. Closing the door on them.
Yeah. So I've
Not
been
a
one of
good
those
idea.
parents have been there and homeschooled my daughter for 2 years. So, because I had a school, principal hang up on me while I was trying to get needs met and all kinds of stuff. And she was, on an IEP, special needs, all kinds of stuff. And it was a disaster. So, obviously I'm a little biased in trying to keep the door open for, folks who are struggling so that we can be, a little more compassionate about how we're handling things.
We have kiddos in our district right now because other districts have the opposite philosophy.
But those other districts, how many of their board members get met with this and dinner? And I mean, that's absolute. We should be setting the bar, and we are, for what a good school district is.
I think we are. We're a community. We're integrated. Like the school district is this community. And I always hope that we're reflecting that with heart and compassion and gumption to strive to do better always. So,
Do we call for the motion?
yeah. So, any other further questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of deleting this policy,
So,
yeah, LBEA, the denial for virtual public charter school. All those in favor for deleting? Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you all so much for working through that. Awesome discussion. And now I lost the rest of the agenda. Yeah. In my shuffle of papers. Okay. Now, I believe we are on to the
number 5.
Douglas ESD Local Service Plan Resolution.
Yep.
'Kay.
Okay, in front of you is a packet, nice colorful packet. That is the entire local service plan that the Douglas ESD developed in conjunction with their board, their leadership, and the superintendents in the county. This is everything that they offer. Annalicia is working really hard to try to get me a list of what exactly Glide takes advantage of. I know you asked for that last year. She actually emailed me last week and said that she probably wasn't going to have it for this board meeting. As soon as I get it, I promise I will get it in front of you. But districts such as Glide rely on this service plan. There are things in here that we participate in that we could not afford to do ourselves. So anyway, I'm bringing this to you to ask for your approval to participate in this local service plan.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adopt the 2026-2027 Douglas ESD Local Service Plan as presented.
To adopt the 2026-2027 Douglas ESD local service plan as presented.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of adopting?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. Tracy, I have this already filled out. I'll give it to you when I'm done with this next presentation because
Perfect.
the calendar is on the back of that sheet.
Alrighty.
All right. I already filled it out.
Oh,
Okay, on page 16, we can fill it out again. It wasn't that. Three words. On page 16 is the 26-27 proposed board and budget calendar. The board meeting follows what we are typically used to in Glide, every third Wednesday of each month. And then the budget calendar has us beginning in April and then finishing up early May. And that fits into Carolyn's budget process. And then that gives us plenty of time for the final approval in June.
Okay. Well then I would entertain a motion to adopt the 2026-27 board budget calendar as presented.
I move to adopt the 2026-2027 board budget calendar as presented.
Okay, any questions or discussion about this?
So that's our next calendar we're gonna go to. We're not, you're one calendar ahead of me. I just like how you're forward thinking.
I
Me
did,
too.
Keeping this meeting going.
I did have in every time we've changed this budget meeting deal from like, it's still, we've scheduled it the 3rd and the 4th where we've, once again, are we gonna have to change that in the future?
So John, just to clarify, is your question as to why we have three dates on there
No, no.
and the two together, or is it
The
the
two
dis?
together, because the
distance
last
in
2
between.
years, they have wanted to move
Yep,
the
Like a
meeting
week.
a week from the second one, so they could.
yep. Have time to go over it more.
So I worked with my business department, and this proposal is what fits best into their calendar. And
Well, that's a
we're-
week in the first meeting. Yeah.
Pardon?
Go,
Yeah,
sorry, I
a
didn't
week,
interrupt.
a
Go
week
ahead.
in between. We feel like some of the budget, maybe the majority of the budget members feel like a week is plenty of time. That if they waited 2 weeks, that they would just put it off
Absolutely.
for 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm not saying any names, John. And so we would like to keep it at the week interval. And then as positions on the budget committee change, that process continues to stay the same.
Yes, I'd like to have it daily.
Yeah,
Well, the budget, no, I won't get into that yet. You have the right to say yay or no if one.
well, I
member-
think this is good. It gives us a week. First one's
I
on the
just
26th.
Wonder if we're gonna, once again. But maybe not.
Well, it gives us a week, and then historically, we haven't needed the third meeting. We've usually.
Yeah, correct. That was the other question. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same thing. But John's right. Just the last meeting or maybe the last two, it's been asked to have a 2 week interval instead of a week interval. And like I said, in working with my business department, I hate using Carolyn's name, but working with Carolyn, the week really works better into her process.
And I agree with John. I think that 2 weeks, and you might as well just have the meeting the next day because you're going to do the same thing. I'm just like, oh, shoot.
I'm way more like, I'd like to have them one day than the next day. Your mind is on I don't like delaying, because I have to, when I do that, I'm like, oh, let's throw it down. That is it, yes. No, I'm right in there. It's like, if it's a week later, I'm not even gonna look at it till the next week. It's 2 weeks later, I'm not gonna look at it till 2 weeks later. When it's
Well,
fresh.
on that note, we're recommending the week in between the meetings.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
No, as you can tell, we've had some discussions about that.
Good stuff. Okay, all those in favor of adopting the 2026-27 board and budget calendar as presented? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to the district calendar.
Okay, on page 17, this is the proposed calendar for the 26-27 school year. This has us starting the week before Labor Day. It was an unanimous agreement to do that, because if we didn't, that means our staff and students were going into the third week of June, and nobody thought that was a good idea.
Yep.
So that one we were able to unanimously decide. This mirrors the current calendar for this year. There are some anomalies. If you recall, you changed the conference dates for the elementary, and we're collecting data to see how that's working, to make sure that this calendar that's presented to you, that there's no negative data out there that would support a change. But if there is, we'll come back to you and talk to you about that. But as of today, this is the calendar we'd like to put in front of you.
Okay. Well, I would entertain a motion to adopt the 2026-27 district calendar as presented.
I move to adopt the 2026-27 district calendar as presented.
Okay, any discussion or questions?
Jan has looked that over a half a dozen times. And just like every calendar, we have so many different eyes on the calendar. And I don't know how things continue to get missed, so I'm sure there's something on here that we missed, but as of today, this is our best effort to get it absolutely perfect. Yep. Yep, so we are starting the same time Roseburg is. Jan did check some other districts in the county, and they two are starting a week before Labor Day. Our spring breaks are the same, school week, March.
Nice.
Else is pretty similar to the county schools, so.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay. All those in favor of adopting the 2026-27 district calendars presented? Aye. Motion passes. Okay. I believe we are going to talk about budget committee vacancy. So Mr. Dan Dawson, his term is expired this year. We certainly encourage him to apply again, but we are opening up the vacancy. It will be posted tomorrow, and we are hoping to have applications in before February 10th. So tell your friends. So I know that we've struggled in the past to round some folks up, but it's a great way to participate and have a voice in your community. And there we go. Okay. And okay, superintendent report.
So a little random, so I hope I can make some kind of sense. At the last meeting, which seems like a long time ago, some of you had talked about revisiting the strategic plan and making sure we're still pointed the direction that the district wants to go. My recommendation is that we pause a little bit on officially addressing the strategic plan, because there's some things in the works right now that I think are going to help guide that work and still provide us a clear direction. Carrie and Tammy and I have been attending a workshop that's called Community Schools through Inflection. It's a framework where schools operate that are based on 4 pillars that in each of those pillars, you continually assess the health of the activities and things that hold that pillar up. And high functioning schools are doing well in all those elements of those 4 pillars. Soon we'll be coming to you and giving you a formal presentation on what that means. And I'm sure they could share too. I will tell you that a lot of the things we're doing fills those pillars up. So we're doing a lot of things, but what I like about the community is the framework, community schools framework, is that it gives you something to operate in. So not that we're randomly doing stuff, but at the board meetings, I've been trying to pinpoint different activities that tie into the strategic plan.
Yes.
This is all laid out.
Wonderful.
It's a little more organization, if you will, on
Okay.
And specificity, specifically
Right.
working on calling out those things. And that was one of the things the presenter said about Glide. And what we presented is that it appears that Glide does a lot of things on purpose. And we do a lot of things on purpose that meets the needs of our community. Some examples of those are things that you are acutely aware of. You heard tonight that even at our elementary school, we have a huge population of kids that are involved in something outside of the school. And oh my gosh, I had no idea we were competing on the national level like we are. So how cool is that?
Awesome.
We continue to look at our community as a whole and meet their needs. The food programs, not just the one we did as a district, but throughout our community. What that did for the community of Glide over the holidays is amazing. The impact it had. I mean, I don't know if you can measure that or not, but what a gift the different entities, including our own, gave to this community to help support their basic needs. The discussion we just had on our philosophy discussion, which is a really deep discussion, and we all have really deep core values and things that that we believe are right. But all of you, when you talked about whether we keep this policy that forces kids out of our system or into our system, you all talked about the kid experience and the family experience, and that's being vulnerable and exposing your beliefs and your philosophy about how we should treat kids in our family. All that is part of this framework, and it all ties together. We're doing a lot of work. Tomorrow, we're actually taking us three, and then 2 leaders from each building are going to join us also, and that's going to spread out to our teacher leaders and hopefully build synergy to where community schools isn't just a phrase we're using, it's how we operate and do business. The strategic plan guides that. So you'll see how that work ties into the strategic plan. And then not selfishly, that's the wrong word, but I think positively moving forward, all of this work, because we involve the community in a lot of that, building those events that happen within those pillars are going to lead us to passing the bond. I firmly believe that. If we show the community what's important to us, how we're meeting the needs, what our needs are, where our areas that we need to beef up in order to do these things, I don't see how the community would vote no against that, especially if we can continue with the notion that it would be at a 0 cost gain. It'll still be at a cost, but
Zero increased.
increase to taxpayers. So anyway, that's my report tonight. Things, knock on wood, things are really going well. Oh shoot, I should talk about, we just got introduced to a school-based mental health therapist through ADAPT that is starting on Monday. And I got to
Yay.
tell you, in the 3 years that I've been here and been asking for this support, I've gotten a lot of crickets, a lot of lip service. Today, I actually saw some action. We actually have a person who's dedicated to Glide. I know.
Oh my
They
gosh,
were
I'm so excited.
They were, I don't know if shock's the right word, but they asked, yeah, when do you think we could get some referrals and a caseload going? And both of them were like, tomorrow.
Right.
And anyway, we're in a position to start that process on Monday and actually get some help for our kiddos and our families at Glide. Super excited about that. Full time, 4 days a week. I was really
Yeah.
anticipating hearing like, oh, we'd get her 2 days a week or something. But she is our person. And we believe we have the need. So this is at 0 cost to the district. Should put that out there. They make their money by billing Medicaid.
Mhm.
And so they feel like, we feel like we have enough need in this district of people who qualify to be billed for Medicaid that this position will fund itself.
Oh, this makes me so happy. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you guys have been asking for that as long as I've been here.
Yeah.
I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you that.
Very awesome. Very awesome.
That's fine.
Okay. Carolyn.
I just have a few quick things tonight. First of all, I want to thank Vicky and her team. I think she said 14 years she's been doing this.
Yeah.
They do an excellent job. They always have their stuff done on time. They were given an extension for our single audit to February 2nd because of the federal shutdown, but they still got it done on time. So thank you, Vicky. Appreciate all your time that you put into our audit every year.
You're here.
The second.
Wow.
Nice.
Woo woo.
And then the second thing is, you may or may not have noticed that our beginning fund balance has increased. And
And the reason for that is because, I think it was either the 23-24 year or the very beginning of the 24-25 year. We were told that we were going to be getting some money because they incorrectly figured the state school fund. They subtracted our federal force fees that we're getting from the secure rural schools. And, they told us, you'll get it on this date. Well, then as I was getting ready to budget, I thought, okay, should I budget for this? And I reached out and I got crickets. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to count that money. Well, we did end up getting that money, and then we had to book it in the previous year. So that affected our beginning fund balance. And so I will be having some suggestions of some transfers into some funds that we haven't been able to transfer money into as we had in the past, probably at our next meeting. And then the last thing is I'm happy to report that the Secure Rural Schools Act was reauthorized and signed in December.
It was.
And so it's retroactive to 2024. So we'll
Nice.
get additional funds for that.
Love it.
And then we'll get it this year, and it's through 2026 for now. So in February, they're saying we should be getting the money for this year, and then the money for 2025 and then 2026. So
Wonderful.
that was good news.
That's great news. That's great news.
And that's all I have.
Thank you so much. That is awesome news. Okay, I believe we're moving on to individual board member reports.
I'm happy to go first. Although it seems like such a long time ago because it was over the holidays, I do want to echo what Robert said. I got to come down and help. It was so fun going to the elementary school and see all the students packing everything. My best part was though, there was a high school student dressed in Santa Claus, and he was checking everything twice, which was Carrie's idea, like go through and check because we have extra this, we shouldn't have extra. And so the students got so into it and they're counting everything. And I have to say, I was on Robert's team and we did mess up with a couple. I will just own it. It was pretty funny, and it was just such a great experience, and all ages of students were helping, and so excited to be there, and just was such positive energy. I took that into, the holidays, which was amazing, just to see the breadth of being able to give to, one, recognizing Cow Creek. So please, I don't know what we do I think we keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that was amazing, but to be able to have that food for those families for the entire break, I can just imagine, it was such a gift. So that was amazing. Also, we had the FFA auction, and that was also amazing to see the community come out and support FFA, all of the wonderful things that the students are doing. It just again reinforces the community involvement and engagement, and folks showing up to support students across the board. I also want to, in terms of I'm just so excited about the mental health. I will just say thank you, Robert. That is, it is one of the continued huge needs that students are reporting, and we still see, just a huge need for that mental health support across the board. And a big shout out to the Ben Seraphin for the grant for sports equipment. I know we got that, but it was like, wow. So I just was reflecting on, and sometimes it feels like overwhelming, but then just going back to the amazing things that are happening in the community support for the students. And I will say my husband was at the wrestling tournament. He volunteers to help out the classic. And so for Glide to take 28 wrestlers is back at the level that when my kids were in school. So Tammy and I spent lots of years there. So it is amazing just to see, and the students that placed really well. And for those of you that don't know, when you win classic, your name goes in a book and it's there for, they keep track of every year. And so you can see if you place awesome. So it's a pretty amazing accomplishment that we had that many students place that high. So.
Thank you.
I really already had my say. I mean, this is, thank you again, and please pass that on to the fifth graders and the teachers and everybody that participated in that. You look across the nation of the turmoil going on and we're truly blessed here. And that doesn't happen because of us five. It happens because of all of us. That's the way I look at it anyway. It's a full team effort and we're not ever letting up. And that's what's really cool about it. I know, it gives me great joy and people think I'm crazy. It's like, no, how's the school board going? I love it. Look forward to going every time. Makes me mad when I can't. So it's they think I'm a screwball because of that, but it's because of you all that that's what we present. So it's a great community and we're going to keep it that way.
That's awesome. Thank you. Period. Just tease. Just tease. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That is so cool.
Oh, yes, I am very pleased with the bridery gifts. I am willing
John.
all the brides. No, thank you very much for dinner and all this. I feel like they feel as a board, since I've been on here, was getting started, making a hire of a superintendent. Hiring my people, done a good job, so it's made our job there a lot easier than what I know that they have been hired, thinking. So, thank you, Robert. Good. And also, one other deal is I'd like to see everybody, as far as the bond measure goes, because we haven't made any real decisions on all we're talking about is a bond measure right now. And as far as I'm concerned, I am not going to support a bond measure for money. This bond measure, we need to have it and
Dialed
be
in.
set in stone on what we want. So I kind of, this might be our next hardest part as board members, deciding what we really need to do at this school. And I would like to see, all of us talk to people in the community, find out what they really want. Well, so that we can put out a bond measure that says, we need this much and we're going to do this. Because if we're just going to have a bond measure that just, oh, there's magic money out there, I myself will not support that. So I think we need to decide and quickly too, because we're talking November, Robert.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
if
know,
we
that's-
want it to pass, like you
that's a
said.
short time frame to make a decision
Yep,
on that. So
I
that's
agree.
just something I wanted to put in everybody's ear.
Thank
and-
you.
Everybody that might be out there listening to us.
Mhm.
And I invite anybody to come to me or, even, you may bring it up, with the faculty. Because they're here every day. Just something.
No, I totally agree. I mean, if we want it to pass, we gotta have buy-in. And it needs to be dialed in of what we're saying we're doing, and we gotta do what we're saying we're doing.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
important.
Anyway, and thanks again.
Can I add to that, Tracy? A snake, snake, snake.
I thought it was.
It's a snake.
Said the peacock.
I guess, can we, I would love to know what the strategy is around. I did have that down as well to ask about the bond in terms of what we do and what the next steps are and are we having a committee or how do we go about this? I just know my experience with one other school district, how they went through it, and I mean, it was pretty intensive in terms of that, so getting things out.
When you say polled really well, what do you mean by that? Does that include community members?
Great.
Okay, so yeah. No, thank you for sharing all that. And so obviously yeah, lots of conversations moving forward. And just one more like housekeeping thing. What schedule are we for? I know we detailed out like when we would have like executive sessions with Robert, and I just completely lost track of where we are on the schedule for that. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Just want to make sure we're doing what we said we would do. Um, hmm? Yeah. I don't really have any questions
Well, I
right
guess
offhand.
I guess my question is really about the process. So again, is it, should it be part of the regular agenda to be talking about it? Should it, I guess I would love to see like a pathway. And if you're saying that, they're recommending that we, not, whatever that calendar looks like, I would love to see something like that. Like, we formally do this, and this by this time. Oh, what? Can't make the last meeting with SB James, saying I create your crisis. But the other ones, yeah, we haven't had any conversation. So in terms of next steps, then can we get like some sort of like calendar ramp up, or can we get a conversation? I don't know what's. Yeah.
Yep. Right? Yes, that's correct. Yes.
That's actually, Tracy and I were talking about, it's like, can we ask to have a list of potential capital projects, repairs, upgrades, and costs by the next meeting? If that's reasonable. Okay. Okay.
Wow. That's nuts. Which was 6.1, is that correct? Gotcha. What I'm thinking. Yeah. Over here doing math. Um, any other questions or comments about that? About where we are with stuff? I mean, because we're, I think, moving on with scheduling, which we can certainly do outside of this meeting. Mhm. Okay, I will also just say, just want to thank the students for the wonderful dinner tonight. It was amazing. And for all the wonderful gifts and for thinking of us. That's super sweet and gives us all the warm fuzzies. That's my generation. We grew up with warm fuzzies. They were like actual little fluffy critters. I don't know if y'all remember that. Okay. Also, just want to say that this coming weekend, Janet and I will be involved. Friday, I will be at the Oregon School Board Association Board of Directors meeting, which is Friday night and then extends into Saturday. I don't get to go to the Saturday part because I already have a training I agreed to do and pay a crap ton of money for. So, but the LPC meeting, which is the Legislative Policy Committee meeting, starts on Saturday. And Janet will be a part of that. And our short legislative session starts here in February. And there's some potentially interesting things coming along. We don't have all of the packet yet. The last meeting I had with the government committee from OSBA, they sit in on our rural caucus meetings. So we don't know everything yet, but we're going to find out this weekend. So keep y'all posted. And thank you all for your time and for everyone's effort to keep this all rolling like it is. Super grateful to be a part of this. Appreciate it. All right. And with that said, I think our next meeting is February 18th at 6 p.m. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.